Okay, we're gonna give this a shot. So MtG Arena just released the new D&D Forgotten Realms set. I'm super excited for the set because I love playing D&D, as well as I love playing Magic. So we're going to give this a shot here, but I'm going to open some packs that I got from doing the Season Pass, as well as I'm going to open up I'm going to do a sealed event. So that way I can have some fun, get a little taste for the set, as well as get an idea of what's going to happen, because my brother and I are going to do the pre-release sealed event, so I'm excited for that. So this might give me hopefully the taste that I'm wanting in terms of that. So first I'm going to do just a quick little video on these packs, get a little taste for the cards. I know with Arena the packs aren't very many, so it's not really the most exciting thing, but maybe anybody who wants to get a taste for a little bit of the set and see what cards there are, this might be a good introduction for you. I'm going to go ahead and open my Strixhaven pack just because it's here and why not. See what fancy shit I get. Let's see here. Defend the campus, new to me. Not a bad one, not at all. I like cards that are very versatile. Pigment Storm deals 5 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Nice. It's actually not bad. Oh, 5 mana cost, that makes sense. Professor of Zoomancy. When Professor of Zoomancy enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 black and green pest. Yep, that's kind of gross. I did love the Strixhaven set. I just unfortunately did not get as invested in it as I wish I did. But, oh well. Still fun to get these packs. Mascot Interception. I wonder if they ever made a book or not for these, or a digital story. Demagoth Titan is scary. Attacks or blocks sacrifice a creature. Yeah, that's not, oh, well, because 4 mana cost. That makes sense. Ooh, Urza's Rage? That's kind of fun. Let's see, for 3 mana, Urza deals 3 damage to target. If it was kicked, target deals 10 damage, Jesus, to permanent or player, and the damage can't be prevented. That's kind of nice, but that costs... I think the kicker is added... Yeah, it's an additional, so that's like... Damn, it's like 12 mana. That's not bad, though, for doing 10 damage. Sounds like a good card, but let's now get to the fun stuff, since this is the Dungeons & Dragons one. Let's see what I get in this first pack. I will be trying to go through cards one at a time, just because it's a new set. So, Shambling Ghast. When Shambling Ghast dies, choose 1. Brave the Stench. Target creature and opponent controls get 1/1 until end of turn. Search the body. Create a treasure token. It's not bad. Again, another versatile card. That's what's nice about this whole set, is I think a lot of the cards are pretty easy to throw in and everywhere. Dwarfhold Champion. Dwarf Warrior, as long as Dwarfhold Champion is equipped, +2 or +0/+2. That's kind of nice. I like how they built off the warriors and everything that kind of works with the the most recent Zendikar set that we had, I believe it is. Charmed Sleep. Enchant creature. When Charmed Sleep enters the battlefield, tap. Enchant a creature. Creature doesn't untap. That's not a bad control spell. I love the artwork of that dragon, though. That's adorable. Arcane Investigator. Search the room. Ooh, this is one of the roll a d20 cards, which I'm actually kind of excited for. So pay 6. Roll a d20. 1 to 9, draw a card. 10 to 20, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in order. He's kind of a nice little scry card. And rolling a d20, you're going to have higher odds of getting that second ability, which is nice, but paying the frickin' mana cost sucks. Steadfast Paladin. Dwarf Knight with lifelink. It's kind of a nice small creature to throw out and have lifelink real quick. Hama Pashar. Ruin Seeker. legendary creature, which is nice. Room abilities of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. That's going to be a nice... I'm wondering if blue-white focuses around the dungeons very much, or if just all cards kind of do that. Ray of Enfeeblement, target creature gets 4/1. If it's white, it gets 4/4. That's a nice little removal spell if you need it, depending on what you're playing against. And my rare, Skeletal Swarming. Each skeleton you control has trample, attacks each combat if able, and gets that where X is the number of other skeletons you control. At the beginning of your end step, create a tap to 1/1 black skeleton creature token. If a creature died, create 2. See, that card's kind of nice. If green-black, I think... it says skeletons, it's a zombie. I was wondering if green-black is going to focus around zombie or skeletons or not. Alright, next one. Let's see what we got. Of course, I get a bunch of wild cards, so that's not going to do much. Herald of Hadar. Circle of Death, roll a d20. 1 die, each opponent loses 2 life. Each loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, create 2 treasure tokens. So that's kind of nice, and that's one of the cards that kind of gives light to that crit roll. Another Dwarfled Champion. A Mimic. God, I love this card. Sacrifice the Mimic to add 1 mana of any color, or it becomes a creature, which is always entertaining. So it's kind of a treasure token / creature if you want. There it is. Fireball. Roll a d20, 2 damage to each player. This one's always fun because it kind of plays that fun game on the Fireball spell. Because you're either going to do damage to everybody or you're going to do damage to just the person you're wanting to do it to. That one's nice if you're playing multi-player. Usually like a 4-person free-for-all or anything. It sucks that Arena doesn't really get to let that shine much. Dungeon map. Looks like... Is this it's not a flip card. I guess it's just explaining a dungeon, I guess. So... Venture into the dungeon, only activate as a sorcerer. Yeah, it's just explaining what a dungeon is, I think. The wild card. My rare is Flump. It's a defender flyer. Whenever Flump enters or is dealt damage, you and target opponent each can draw a card. That's kind of nice for a defender. And with flying, kind of makes it nice too. Good little quick guy to throw out there. Moving right along. We'll get all new cards. So Manticore, Flying Flash, Tail Spikes. When Manticore enters the battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. It's not bad. You hear something on watch. These are fun little cards, I think, because they kind of play to the whole adventure. Rouse the party. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, or set off traps. So this spell deals 5 damage to target attacking creature. That's kind of nice. You either boost the party or deal damage to a target attacking creature. I think this set really goes well with the Zendikar set, because the whole Zendikar set kind of worked with party, and then this kind of plays on it a little bit more. So it might be a fun little modern thing. Vampire Spawn. When Vampire Spawn enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I always like cards that are like that. I also kind of like the whole party idea, because if anybody who knows me, I love making decks off themes, and a party system is always a fun idea for a deck. Hired Hexblade. When Hired Hexblade enters the battlefield, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, you draw a card and lose 1 life. It's not too bad. You get to draw a card if you use a treasure token. I noticed it seems like black, this set, focuses on treasure tokens. Circle of the Moon Druid. It's a human elf druid, so a halfling type thing. Bear form. As long as it's your turn, Circle of the Moon is a bear with base power and toughness 4/2. Loses all other creature types. That's kind of cool. That artwork's kind of cool too, because it's kind of got a tattoo and everything, and you can kind of tell he looks like a bear. Aberrant Mind Sorcerer, Human Elf Shaman, Psionic Spells. When a sorcerer enters the battlefield, choose target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard, then roll a d20. I may put that card on top of my library if it's 1 or 9, and return that card to hand. So that's kind of nice, depending on how you roll, depends on where it goes. Oh, it's a 5 when it enters the battle. I guess I can understand why that's a 5 cost, it's not horrible. Dungeon Crawler's a zombie. Enters the battlefield tapped. When you complete a dungeon, you may return Dungeon Crawler from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, that's not too bad. Ooh, Delina the Wild Mage. If I butcher any of these pronouncings, I'm sorry. Whenever Delina Wild Mage attacks, choose target creature you control, then... Ooh, this is the one I think I liked. To get her right off the bat, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of that creature spell. It's not legendary. And it has exile this creature at the end of combat, and then 15 to 20, create one of those tokens, you may roll again. See, that's kind of nice, is because like you can just keep, if you roll high enough, just keep pooping out tokens. Alright, pack number 4. Excited. The Baleful Beholder. When Baleful enters battlefield, choose 1 anti-magic cone. Each opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. So that guy can be nasty. Beholders are always entertaining. Mordekainen's Polymorph. Enter until end of turn. Target creature becomes a dragon with base power and toughness 4/4 and gains flying. Oh, that's kind of nice. I kind of enjoy that. It's an instant. I didn't even think twice about that. It's kind of a nice card. You're ambushed on the road. Choose 1. Make a retreat. Turn target creature you control to its owner's hand. Stand and fight. Target creature gets that until end of turn. That's kind of a nice, fun little defense spell. Unexpected Windfall. It's additional cost to cast a spell. Discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. That's kind of nice. I have 4 mana. Vampire Spawn again. Choose your weapon. 2 weapon fighting. Double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn, or archery. This spell deals 5 damage to target creature with flying. That's kind of nice instant. Critical hit. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. When you roll a natural 20, return critical hit from your graveyard to your hand. That's kind of nice. I'm excited to see how the dice rolling works on this digital version. And Meteor Swarm deals 8 damage divided as you choose among X target creatures and or planeswalkers. That's kind of nice. Because otherwise it's basically 4 to deal 8 damage to one thing, or it's like, oh, creatures and or planeswalkers, so you can't hit the player, which is, again, why it's a lesser mana cost, but not bad. I don't think I've gotten a mythic yet. I haven't paid attention. Spared Dagger. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has, whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice Spared Dagger. When you do, this creature deals 1 damage to any target. It's kind of nice. Get a bunch of those at least for rogues or something. Chattering Skeletons. When it enters the battlefield, or when the Chattering Skeletons dies, venture into the dungeon. So for anybody who doesn't know about the dungeon mechanic, which is kind of nice that it shows you a dungeon, basically cards will have you venture into the dungeon, which, as you can kind of see on the right, or on the left, you can enter the first room of the dungeon. If already in the dungeon, you just advance to the next room. And it looks like the dungeons give you bonuses each time, so they're kind of like sagas in a way, but you kind of choose your own adventure with them, which is kind of nice. If I right click, so it looks like there's only 3 dungeons. I don't know if they are, if you get to pick the dungeon, or if they're cards that you get. I'd have to double check that. But it looks like only 3 dungeons exist, which is interesting. Celestial Unicorn. Whenever you gain life, put a 1 counter. That's kind of nice. Bolt Strength. Target creature gets 2/2 and gains trample until end of turn. Untap it. That's kind of nice for green and being aggressive. Bar the Gate. Counter target creature or planeswalker spell. Venture into the dungeon. It's a good counter, and if you're running dungeons, it's kind of nice too. Lightfoot Rogue. Sneak Attack. Whenever it attacks, roll a d20. Gains Death Touch. +1/+0 and gains Death Touch. Or get that crit of +3/+0 and gains first strike and death touch. That's a really nice black card for rogue. Death Priest of Miracle. Skeletons, vampires, and zombies you control get +1/+1. So okay, that's kind of nice because then that pairs with the other green-black card I got. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 1. If you do, create a black skeleton creature token. So that's kind of nice. He's going to be fun, I think, if I build like a black-green skeleton something deck. Guardian of Faith. Vigilance Flash. Enters the battlefield. Any number of other target creatures I control phase out. Treat them and anything attached to them as though they don't exist until their controller's next turn. That's kind of nice. I don't know if it is like bouncing per se, but it's nice to kind of have that. Last pack. Give me the money. Of course I get another wild card. Unexpected Windfall again. Find the Path. Enchant land. Enters the battlefield, venture through the dungeon, but you add 2 force. Nice. Armory Veteran is a warrior. As long as it's equipped, it has menace. See, I might rebuild my warrior deck around these guys. Valor Singer. Tiefling Bard. Combat Inspiration. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, target creature you control is +1/+0 until end of turn. That's kind of nice. Kind of pair it with the warriors, maybe. Power of Persuasion. Oh, this is probably going to be good. Choose target creature an opponent controls and roll a d20. Return it to its owner's hand. Its owner puts it on top of their library or gain control of it until end of turn, if you crit it. It's kind of nice, kind of plays on the whole diplomacy thing. Cloister Gargoyle. When it enters the battlefield, venture in the dungeon. As long as you've completed a dungeon, Cloister Gargoyle gets +3/+0 until end of, and flying. That's kind of nice. So if you get through the dungeon, which it looks like one of these, maybe that one or the one before, is really short. And my rare, come on, dragon. Ooh, rogue class. I was actually curious about these class cards. So, gain a level. Or gain levels as a sorcerer, okay. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. I may look at it for as long as it remains exiled. Creatures I control have menace, and then once I level it up, I might play cards exiled with rogue class. As though, so that's kind of cool, the enchantment classes. I'm curious to see how that's going to work. I might actually play with that in my rogue deck. From the Zendikar block. But, okay. So that's a little sneak peek of the set for anybody who's curious. Hopefully, might get people inspired to play or join Arena or do whatever. Arena's free to play. Trying not to advertise too much. But, yeah, that looks like I got some fun cards. I'm excited to get more and to play around. I'm about to do a sealed event, which will probably be on a different video if I throw this into YouTube. For anybody who's watched any of my previous content, it's been a while. They're rough. I understand. Hoping to, over time, revamp things, hence this video. Maybe doing more Magic videos. Hopefully streaming more. And all the other fun self-advertising things. But hopefully we'll see what happens. I'm going to do a sealed event and probably get my ass kicked, so that'll be entertaining. But that'll be in another video. So, thank you all for watching, and have a good one.